Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and today I'm just be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to this channel as always. So always lots to negotiate about when I do currently do this channel, and again there's lots to negotiate on this current video. But today going to give you the latest news about Bruno Fernandes. Also going to give you the latest news about Harry Maguire, and like I said there's also other things to currently talk about as well. So we'll start with Bruno Fernandes. So Manchester United are reportedly set to make a bid for Bruno Fernandes sometime this week. Bruno Fernandes' agent has informed Sporting Lisbon that they're expected to receive a bid for their client sometime this week and all that. So potentially we do know Sporting Lisbon are demanding that they do want around 70 million pounds and all that. We do know Bruno Fernandes' initial lease clause is around 88 million pounds, but obviously as you all know Manchester United are not determined to go anywhere near that figure. I do believe Sporting Lisbon's valuation does seem to be the current stumbling block, because reports emerged out earlier on this week saying that Manchester United are only willing to spend up to around 50 million pounds on Bruno Fernandes. But I do believe it's very, very imperative that we do currently get this deal over the line, because for the entirety of the summer Bruno Fernandes of course has been heavily linked with move to Manchester United and all that, and obviously talks have been ongoing for several weeks between Manchester United and Sporting Lisbon. Reportedly, if he does make his proposed move to Old Trafford, Bruno Fernandes, reportedly Manchester United will pay him around 5.5 million a year, which obviously does equate to around £100,000 a week and all that. But actually it did say earlier on this week, it actually did say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer he's not being backed for this particular signing, because it actually did say the board have got concerns about bringing Bruno Fernandes in, because reportedly they believe he's currently too expensive, and they've got concerns about spending a substantial amount on a player that's got a little experience to the highest level. So Bruno Fernandes has currently got the experience, but not really to the highest level and all that. But like I did say, regardless of what happens with Paul Pogba, I still think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is orchestrating on bringing two new additions in that midfield. So potentially with the situation with Pogba, I don't think it's having any effect on Bruno Fernandes, coming to Manchester United and all that. So I do believe Bruno Fernandes' move to Manchester United is not dependent, of course, on what happens with Paul Pogba and all that. But like I did currently say, Bruno Fernandes' agent, it did say earlier on this week, has arrived in the UK again to obviously hold more extensive talks with Manchester United. I do believe he's set to hold talks with Tottenham and all that. Obviously Liverpool and that have been linked with Bruno Fernandes, but obviously Bruno Fernandes' agent is obviously looking for the best possible deal for his current client and all that. I do believe Bruno Fernandes' agent was in the UK allegedly a couple of weeks ago to thrash out a deal and that with Manchester United. But potentially Sporting Lisbon themselves haven't been quite reliable throughout the summer. Obviously they're sure he was going to be going to Manchester City, was it around 8 or 9 weeks ago, but as it did currently turned out Manchester City of course had withdrawn their interest. But I still believe Liverpool and Tottenham are in there for Bruno Fernandes. But potentially we're only willing to pay £50 million reportedly, but we haven't made any official bidding for him as yet. So reportedly sometime this week, we are preparing to put our first formal offering for Bruno Fernandes. So potentially we do know he's been at Sporting Lisbon a couple of seasons. I do believe Sporting Lisbon as well won the Portuguese Cup last season. Bruno Fernandes was very, very good last season. He scored 32 goals, or was it 31 goals in all competitions. Obviously, he signed a 5-year deal with Sporting Lisbon last summer, so he is in the contract with them until 2023. Like I said, he's exceeded expectation levels in his couple of years with Sporting Lisbon. Obviously, spent the majority of his career in Italy, when he was younger. But I do believe, Bruno Fernandes, has actually informed his representatives that he does want to make the move to Manchester United and all that. And I do believe he did say he turned down Tottenham. He also turned down Liverpool. So I do believe Bruno Fernandes' preference is actually to make a move to Manchester United and all that. Obviously, Tottenham themselves are obviously in search for a midfielder. Obviously, they've got 2 players on the board so far this summer. They've got Tanguy Ndombele, I think, from Lyon. Obviously, they've got Jack Clarke from Leeds. But obviously, Jack Clarke is obviously being loaned back to Leeds for next season. But initially, Tottenham Tottenham have still currently got him. So Tottenham's still looking to do more transfer activity, because I think it's in Tottenham's plan, to spend, fairly big this summer and all that. With Liverpool, like I said, they've been in for Bruno Fernandes. Looking at Ultimate, I don't think Liverpool really need any signings. They've invested well in the last couple of seasons and all that. Liverpool, but yeah, Liverpool, I've definitely not been in there for Bruno Fernandes and all that. But he's only 24 years of age, and like I said, he's primarily an attacking midfielder. And obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, wants to recruit young players to Manchester United this summer. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer believes he's following a policy that proved successful under Alex Ferguson and all that. But yeah, like I said, I think it's very imperative that we do get this deal concluded for Bruno Fernandes. So basically, we've just got to pay £70 million what Sporting Lisbon are demanding. Obviously, Sporting Lisbon's president came out a while back, and he did say there's been talks, with Bruno Fernandes in regard to his future. But Bruno Fernandes comes to Manchester United, who rejuvenate the team, who win us them goals that we need in that midfield. His tenacity is really, really good, his work ethic, and that's really, really good. And I do believe Bruno Fernandes has got all the attributes to come and succeed in the Premier League, and I do believe, he will exceed expectation levels in the Premier League and all that. He hasn't really played to the highest level, but I still believe, he will definitely, succeed at Manchester United. But we blatantly made it clear anywhere, we're not willing to overspend on our transfer target, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, did say, there has been a lot of speculation about players coming in, about players going out, but he is very, very adamant, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that we haven't received many bids for our players. We haven't received many bids for our current players, but he did say, we don't need to currently sell players and all that. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has, spoken to the vast majority of our players this summer. But I do believe, we need to sell players, to help us generate funds and, of course, rebuild the squad and all that. Obviously, we do know so far this summer anyway, we have spent around £65 million, obviously, on Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and all that. So we've got 2 signs on the board so far this summer. But I do believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is going to want to build on that. And I do believe, Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka, they've both got all the ingredients required, to become huge successes at Manchester United and all that. We have seen glimpses of Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka of what good signings, they've proven to be so far, in pre-season. They've done really, really well in pre-season so far. With Daniel James, we got him for a reasonable figure. Daniel James, it was a cheap solution, compared to what we paid for the likes of Pogba and Lukaku in recent years and all that. And I do believe, we are moving away from the policy of signing them well-established players. But for me, I think... I think Daniel James is still a prospect. I still say, Daniel James needs time to develop, and Wan-Bissaka, obviously, he's going to be he's going to be our first choice right back, going on into this season and all that. So I do believe both players are going to exceed expectation levels, but we need more than Wan-Bissaka. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, will want to win another couple of players in, before this current window ends. And there's only 3 weeks now remaining of this transfer window. So I do believe now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priorities, will be to recommend a centre half in, an experienced centre half, and he'll also, want to add reinforcements in that midfield. We also need a right winger. Some people say the midfield and that right wing is more imperative than recommending central defender in. So these still basically lots to address in the squad. Recently, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was talking about our ambitions for next season in the Premier League, and he does believe Solskjaer that we will be aiming for further up than 4th. But we need to see vast improvements, of course, going on into this season without a shadow of a doubt, because last season was disappointing. We finished 6th. Of course, we didn't win many silverware and all that. And like I did say to you, we have been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years. And the main factor reason why we have been a toxic club, because obviously we've been mismanaged. This is the main factor reason, of course, why we have been underachieving. And obviously, 3 managers, of course, have been sacked, since Alex Ferguson retired, back in 2013. So I know a lot of money has been spent in the club over the years. Players have come in, and of course, players have gone. And analysing this squad at the moment, obviously, the majority of the squad is not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The only players that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's, of course, is Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and all that. But analysing our current squad at the moment, I don't think it's competitive enough and all that. I don't think it's good enough, to challenge for the Premier League or win the league and all that. So this is why we do need at least a couple of more current players in and all that. And I did say, regardless of where our manager is, even if we had a manager into the highest level and all that, I still think they would currently struggle with this current squad. But I think our expectations going into this season probably will be to finish in the top 4. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, whatever the expectations are going on to this season, obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got to exceed them expectation levels, to obviously remain at Manchester United and all that. But I do believe in the next couple of seasons our aspirations will be that current top 4. But like I said, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Solskjaer. He has got a bit of the experience as a manager. He did well in his first 3 months as interim manager at Manchester United and all that. We won 14 games out of 19, even won our first 8 games and all that. So it was fantastic in that 3-month period. Obviously, he had a bit of experience as at Mould as well. He did win a couple of Norwegian titles with Mould. He hasn't really got the experience to the highest level, but like I said, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he believes that Alex Ferguson, transformed him into a winner. But like I said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a great player for Manchester United for 11 years under Alex Ferguson, and he thrived under Alex Ferguson's guidance, and I do believe he's following Alex Ferguson's philosophy and all that. But I know what squad Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to rebuild, and hopefully, we can rebuild a squad, what can replicate what the squad did, under Alex Ferguson, for 20 odd years and all that. But yeah, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, wants to bring young players in that can grow, develop and emulate, of course, into superstars. But I'm hopeful, it does work out under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I do believe we're at least a year or maybe even 2 years, maybe even longer off, from being a competitive elite level football club. Obviously, we're not in Champions League football. I was disappointed about that. Obviously, we are competing in the Europa League going on into this season. Obviously, it's going to be difficult for us to attract players to elite level because obviously, we're not in Champions League football. Obviously, it's going to also be hard for us to convince Marvin Imperative, players to stay at the football club. So still not, we still basically need to revitalise the squad and all that. But like I did say, I think Manchester United, definitely need to sell players. Obviously Paul Pogba and Romelu Lukaku have both been relentlessly, linked to move away from the football club. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how imperative, Lukaku and Paul Pogba are at Manchester United and all that. So I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to, basically sell them. I said if we can offload both players, I think it will help us with our transition. It will help us with our rebuilding process. And I do believe we could probably generate around, £200 million for their current departures. But I think, based on the extortionate amount we put on Pogba, based on the extortionate amount we put on Lukaku, this seems to be the stumbling block of both players making their proposed moves away from Old Trafford. And obviously analysing it, Paul Pogba and Lukaku are our two most expensive signings. I do believe we need to sell Diamond and Rojo because I do believe Diamond and Rojo have both enjoyed their difficult times at the club. Obviously with Diamond, he really hasn't been given the chance. He has sustained quite a few injuries, and with Marcus Rojo, his Manchester United career has been mainly affected, the amount of injuries he's sustained. So obviously since Rojo became a Manchester United player, obviously he's become injury prone. And same with Eric Bailly. I think he's a very imperative defender. I do believe Manchester United should keep him. He's got great potential, but I think Eric Bailly, again, his career has been affected with Manchester United with the injuries sustained. He's also had a fallout with managers as Eric Bailly, but Bailly's proven in his 3-year period that he can hold his line well. His distribution, that's really, really good. So he's still very, very imperative. But with Diamond and Rojo, I think if we sell them, we can generate around 25 or 30 million pounds for their departures. But since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer arrived, we've seen 3 players leave the club. Obviously, we saw Antonio Valencia leave after serving 10 years at Manchester United. I think he's been one of the longest serving players at the club. Obviously, he joined Manchester United in 2009 from Wigan. Obviously, we did have him for 10 years. I think he made over 300 appearances in all competitions, and he was Valencia, was imperative. At one point, he got in the team quite regularly, but obviously, last season, Valencia for the majority of last season, was out. I think with an injury and all that. But he obviously, he has left now. Obviously, we did get our replacement for him for Wan-Bissaka, which is good. Obviously, under Herrera, so he left as well on a free transfer. So obviously, we're going to need a replacement for him. Fellaini left back in the January transfer window. Fellaini himself, when he was at the club, he served 6 years with Manchester United. I think we did pay around, was it £27 million to him from Everton back in 2013. Of course, this was under the David Moyes era. Did prove himself in the odd game there and there that he can play well. Fellaini, he can hold his line, but for me, he was too static and all that. I think he has similarities, to Matic, just Fellaini, because Fellaini's slow, Matic is slow and all that, and they are both very, very inconsistent. So, we definitely got to currently address that midfield there without a shadow of a doubt. You got the likes of Fred. Fred obviously hasn't played on pre-season yet, but I do presume he will be playing today against Inter Milan. He will get his chance because obviously he's linked up with with the squad in Singapore. As Fred obviously, as he's just basically got married. Fred, like I said, I think we overpaid for Fred. We paid 50. We paid £50 million for him last summer from Shakhtar Donetsk. To be fair, Fred never really got the opportunity under the Jose Mourinho era. Quite a few players didn't get their chance under the Jose Mourinho era. But since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been recommended in, obviously he has, given everybody the given a chance and all that. And the thing I do like about pre-season, even though it's meaningless, upcoming players, get chances, they get a bit of experience and that under their belt. They gain a bit more experience. The upcoming players, which is very, very good. But Fred will get given his chance, but I'm still very, very sceptical, if he is the long-term solution for Manchester United and all that. He was good at Shakhtar Donetsk, but he hasn't really replicated this at Manchester United. Fred was good towards the back end of last season. He did put some current good performances out. We've got Andres Pereira as well. He's one of our fringe players. We've got McTominay is inexperienced at the moment, but obviously, he's going to give him more of a chance, going on into this season. Scott McTominay, which is also, very, very good. So, like I said, we have got to currently address that midfield. Talking about Milinkovic-Savic, as I've been updating you on a regular basis, I also updated you about a lot last week about Milinkovic-Savic, and it actually does say that Manchester United are currently in for him. I think we obviously are seeing him as a replacement for Paul Pogba, of course, if Paul Pogba, does leave Manchester United and all that. So maybe Milinkovic-Savic to Manchester United is dependent on what happens with Paul Pogba. Sky in Italy did report out last week saying that reportedly we've put around the £72 million bidding for Milinkovic-Savic. Obviously, I do believe this is going to be too insufficient for Lazio, because obviously Lazio are looking for somewhere in the region of around £90 million. They're looking for somewhere in the region of £90 million. Initially, Lazio have lowered their asking price, because reflecting back last summer, I do believe Lazio wanted around £108 million. But we do know Milinkovic-Savic has been actually relentlessly linked to move to Manchester United. I think we've been linked to him for the last year and all that. But we're probably going to have to pay around £90 million for his services. I do believe Manchester United were in talks with Lazio last week. We're in talks with Lazio last week. I do believe his agent the other week as well travelled to the UK. So reportedly Manchester United have held negotiations with his agent and that over possibly getting a deal concluded. Milinkovic-Savic is 24 years of age. I think he's primarily central midfielder, so mainly box to box. Of course, he's Serbian. Obviously, hasn't played in the Premier League as yet. I think he's been inconsistent in the last 5 or 6 months for Lazio, but he has proven in the majority of his 4-year period, with Lazio, that he can score goals, he can create chances. Overall, he's technically a very, very good footballer. He's Milinkovic-Savic and all that. He signed a new deal with Lazio last October, so he's under contract with them until 2023. He's Milinkovic-Savic and all that. But yeah, I think Lazio, do want in the region of around £90 million. But he's done, mainly well. In the majority of his 4 years, he has currently been there. But Milinkovic-Savic, of course, has got a lot of years ahead of him. But yeah, it did say, Manchester United, of course, were in there for him. But I do believe he is, growing frustration around Manchester United. He is growing frustration around Manchester United. Because obviously, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, does not currently get the players he wants, you can basically say, that the current board have let him down, because the board did actually assure, that there was going to be a backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this summer and all that. And, we've got 2 players on the board. I don't think we're being competitive enough, and I think we definitely need more than 2 players. We need at least 2 more. We probably will even need 3 more new additions to the squad, if I'm going to be quite honest. So looking at ultimately, Manchester United may only make 1 more current sign and all that, but you can still see the deficiencies in the squad. And obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, basically wants to build a squad, worthy of the club's mystery and all that. But yeah, there has been a lot of talks about Milinkovic-Savic. With Sean Longstaff, obviously, he'd been on our agenda, for quite some time. Sean Longstaff from Newcastle. I do believe now he's proposed move to Manchester United. I don't think it's going to happen now, because I think we've withdrawn our interest in the player, or we are going to withdraw our interest in a player. Reflecting on Newcastle's substantial amount they are currently demanding. Well, £50 million in this market this day and age is reasonable, but I don't think it's reasonable, for Sean Longstaff and all that, because you can still classify Sean Longstaff as an upcoming player, because he's got a bit of experience under his belt, but he only made his debut, don't forget, for Newcastle in December of last year, did Sean Longstaff, and he's definitely not worth £50 million. Obviously, Newcastle have recently indicated out anywhere that he's basically not for sale. This is why they are demanding an extortionate amount and all that. Obviously, it confirmed from Sky Sports the other week that Manchester United had held high level talks with Newcastle about Sean Longstaff and all that. Manchester United have not made any official bid for him. Reportedly did say the other week we was orchestrating on putting around the £30 million bidding for him, but obviously this is going to be too insufficient for Newcastle. We initially value Sean Longstaff from what, 18-20 million pounds. So basically, Newcastle are demanding more than double this and all that. But I do believe Manchester United are going to be reluctant to pay it. I thought initially we had been given a boost in our pursuit of Sean Longstaff, following the departure of Rafa Benitez. But like I did say, he did flourish under Rafa Benitez's guidance. In the second half last season, did Sean Longstaff. He put some good performances out. Like I said, I think reflecting on his impressive performances, Sean Longstaff had been given a new contract with Newcastle. So he is under contract with them until 2022, and all that, reflecting on his impressive performances. I think he initially began his career with Newcastle, did Sean Longstaff, so he was a product of their academy. I think he also had loan spells with Kilmarnock and Blackpool. Like I said, he didn't play the last couple of months of last season, due to a knee ligament injury. He had sustained, currently back in March and all that. And I still believe he's recovering from injury now. But he did make his debut in December of last year, and I think his debut came against Liverpool, of course, when Newcastle had lost 4-0 to Liverpool. But according to Newcastle, they're basically saying that, they believe Sean Longstaff is fully committed to their club. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did instruct Manchester United, of course, to get a transfer prioritised for Sean Longstaff. But I do believe now it's not going to happen. He's only 21 years of age. Like I said, he is British. Obviously, we've bought 2 British players so far this summer. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does want to recruit British talents to Manchester United. But like I said, I just don't think we'll be willing to pay up to £50 million for Sean Longstaff and all that. So Newcastle, of course, want to keep him. Like I said, Rafa Benitez's departure, I thought, it would, we'd been given a boost. Obviously, also Newcastle lost Perez to Leicester. But yeah, I don't think Sean Longstaff, will be coming in. Obviously, with Mario Lemina, I was giving you a lot of updates about Mario Lemina the other week and all that. I do believe Manchester United are no longer interested in the player, but he did report the other week saying that, Mario Lemina has confirmed that he wants to leave Southampton. Obviously, he's notified Ralph Hasenhüttl about this. Obviously, initially, the other week confirmed he didn't travel, with Southampton. He didn't travel with Southampton's squad, for pre-season in Austria and all that. And basically, he's indicated now as Mario Lemina that he still wants to, stay in England, so he wants to remain loyal in England, wants to continue playing his trade and that in England. But he has indicated out that he does want to go to a big club, Mario Lemina, to obviously rejuvenate his career and, of course, take his football and career to the next level. And I think Southampton have confirmed, that are open to selling the player. He did confirm from Sky Sports the other week that, Southampton had given Mario Lemina permission, to talk to other clubs. So I do believe the other week Manchester United held talks, over the possibility of him coming to Old Trafford this summer. Obviously, Arsenal had expressed their interest, so I do presume they held talks. Liverpool and that had held interest. Not Liverpool, sorry, Leicester, of course, had held their interest in Mario Lemina. But I don't think, Manchester United are interested in currently signing the player. And I don't think he would be the right type signing for Manchester United. I think he would be more of an Arsenal type signing, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Mario Lemina has had 2 years of experience under his belt in the Premier League, because he has been at Southampton, 2 years. But I think it would be more of an Arsenal type signing with Mario Lemina. I think Southampton are looking to recruit the initial £18 million, is it, that they did pay for him from Juventus a couple of years ago and all that. So Southampton are basically looking to recoup this money. But Mario Lemina, I think, he's got 3 years left on his contract with Southampton. Like I said, he has been there 2 years. I do believe he's made 52 appearances for Southampton in all competitions. Obviously, 46 appearances, of course, have come in the Premier League. But yeah, probably Mario Lemina is currently going to leave Southampton. I think he's been mainly out of favour with Southampton, reflecting on the amount of injuries he has sustained, especially last season. But Mario Lemina is 25 years of age. He's a Gabonese international. Obviously, he's primarily a central midfielder, so mainly a box-to-box midfielder. But his versatility is very, very good, because I think he has played in various other positions, when he was younger. Obviously, he's been deployed as a winger. Obviously, he's played as a fullback. He's played as a fullback. He's played as a wing-back. He's also played as a central defender. So his versatility is also, very, very good. Is Mario Lemina. I do believe he can break up the play. He's very energetic and all that. And £18 million is a reasonable figure, but I just don't think he would be the right type of sign for Manchester United. But he actually confirmed the other week that reportedly, Manchester United had inquired about Mario Lemina's services. So he's another midfield that Manchester United, basically, were in for. But yeah, there's been so many midfielders on our agenda. Obviously, Saul Niguez, there was a lot of talks about him, going on a couple of weeks ago from Atletico Madrid. But yeah, there has been so many on our current agenda. We do know Manchester United, obviously, we do need a central defender. Obviously, someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof in our current back line and all that. And we've got issues defensively. That was proven last season because we conceded 54 goals in 38 Premier League games last season and all that. So that just indicates how the issues we have currently got defensively. And analysing it, we haven't had the defence. We haven't had a good. We haven't had the defence to rebuild on. Since we had the likes of Vidic, Ferdinand, and Neville and Patrice Evra and all that. Because back in the day under Alex Ferguson, we had a fantastic defence and all that. And we haven't had a really good one, since we had that that back line, under the Alex Ferguson and Rayburn and all that. And we haven't really had a world class central defender, since we had the likes of Vidic and Ferdinand. And I did say, there was a great partnership back under the Alex Ferguson and Rayburn and all that. But I think we need at least one central defender. Some Manchester United fans believe we need two central defenders and all that. But we do know there's been a lot of central defenders on our current agenda, but we do know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has identified, Harry Maguire is his number one defensive target and all that. Obviously, we are all aware that Harry Maguire, of course, is going to cost us a substantial amount and all that. So we're going to have to pay a substantial amount, to lure him away from Leicester. Obviously, Leicester have blatantly made it clear they will let Harry Maguire join Manchester United or Manchester City as long as Man United or Man City are willing to pay him a world record fee. And I do believe Leicester City's valuation, does seem to be the stumbling block of Harry Maguire, making his proposed move to Manchester United or Manchester City and all that. Because Leicester have said they want in the excess around £80 million. Manchester United, of course, are not willing to pay this, neither are Manchester City. I think we're more than happy, to pay around £70 or £75 million, but we are not willing, to pay no more than that. I don't think Harry Maguire, is worth what Leicester are currently demanding and all that. He's definitely not currently worth that. And I think I'd say in this market this day and age, I'd probably say 70, maybe £75 million is probably reasonable, for Harry Maguire. But I'd say over £70 million mark, basically definitely then, Leicester are asking for too much. Obviously, Harry Maguire has obviously informed Brendan Rodgers. He's also, informed his Leicester teammates that he does currently want to leave Leicester and he wants to go to a competitive elite level football club, to rejuvenate his career and of course take his footballing career to the next level and all that. But yeah, so basically recent reports did indicate out anywhere saying that, Brendan Rodgers has actually imposed a deadline on potential bids for Harry Maguire. So I do believe Brendan Rodgers' overarching view is, he's aware of Manchester United, he's aware of Manchester United and Manchester City's interest there and all that, and he's basically been discussing the bids that have been placed in for Harry Maguire. But what he's basically saying is, his overarching view, like I said, what he's basically saying is, if Manchester United and Manchester City want him, they've basically got to currently hurry up and all that. So this is what he's basically saying. Actually, reports indicated out last weekend, as you all do remember, saying that allegedly, he said we'd reached an agreement with Leicester. He said reportedly, we had agreed a world record fee of £80 million. He said allegedly we'd pay £60 million up front, £20 million add-ons and all that. And he allegedly said he was going to undergo his medical earlier on this week. I think it was actually on Monday. And I do believe when it said we agreed this world record fee, I think actually this was actually stemming from Duncan Castles and all that. And to be quite honest, Duncan Castles is not always reliable, and sometimes he's not always basically reliable and all that. But no fee has been agreed, between Manchester United and Leicester. But this does seem to be currently the stumbling block. Obviously, it said Harry Maguire, became infuriated with Leicester last weekend, blocking his proposed move to Manchester United and City and all that. I do believe Harry Maguire is demanding that he does want to be the captain. He wants the captaincy if he does end up, making the move to Manchester United. I do believe he would be fantastic for the club. He would be a fantastic leader in our back line. Obviously, our current captain at the moment is Ashley Young. I think also Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has revealed he has considered Paul Pogba for the captaincy going on to next season, to try and convince Paul Pogba and that to remain at the football club. But if Harry Maguire does make his move to Manchester United, possibly Harry Maguire could come get the captaincy. But I do believe Harry Maguire, will blend in alongside Victor Lindelof in our backline, fantastically well, without a shadow of a doubt. And I think Harry Maguire's physical attributes are really, really good. I think he's good in the air. I think he shows that ability to play out from the back. I think his passing's also very, very good. He's not really, really fast, but I don't think, that's currently an issue. So I do believe he would exceed expectation levels at Manchester United. 26 years of age, still got a hell of a lot of years ahead of it. So analysing it, Harry Maguire, of course, is still, currently in his prime. But yeah, obviously, we've already had a £70 million bid turned down for Harry Maguire, because obviously that got confirmed from Sky Sports quite a few weeks ago now, saying that we've had a £70 million bid turned down. That's too insufficient for Leicester. But obviously, there's been talks ongoing for several weeks now between Manchester United and Leicester. Also, Manchester City have held talks with Leicester, and I do believe Harry Maguire's first choice preference is actually Manchester City ahead of Manchester United. Obviously, City have been seeing Harry Maguire as a replacement for Vincent Kompany. But I did initially say, quite recently as well, that City had pulled out of the race for him. But I do really like him a lot. I wouldn't put him nowhere near Virgil van Dijk's calibre or level, because like I did say with Virgil van Dijk, he's the best centre-half in world football and all that, because he's done really, really well with Liverpool. But I thought he was also good at Southampton. He's obviously replicated what he did at Southampton at Liverpool, but he's even better at Liverpool and all. And obviously Liverpool paid £75 million for him back in January 2018. So obviously Virgil van Dijk is obviously the most expensive central defender in world football at this current present time. I still believe Harry Maguire is still a good central defender. You could probably regard him as one of the best centre-halves in the Premier League, reflecting on his impressive performances in his 2 years he has served with Leicester. So he's made 76 appearances for Leicester in all competitions. Obviously 69 of those appearances have come in the Premier League. Obviously he signed a new long-term contract with Leicester last summer, so he's in the contract then until 2023. Leicester, only paid £17 million for his services from Hull City. So even if Leicester were to sell him for £70-75 million, they are still going to make a huge profit on the player, because they only paid £17 million for him, like I said. But I do believe, Mike Phelan is instructing Manchester United, to get a deal over the line for Harry Maguire. Obviously, Mike Phelan, did manage Harry Maguire, during his short tenure with Hull, and I do believe Sir Alex Ferguson has instructed, Manchester United, to currently sign Harry Maguire and all that. I do really, really like him a lot, and he has been relentlessly linked to a move to Manchester United. I think we're also in for Harry Maguire last summer, but reflecting back last summer, actually no priority, was to recommend a central defender and that to come in. But obviously, reflecting back last summer, of course, the board weren't back in the signings that Jose Mourinho, of course, wanted to recommend to come in. But yeah, Harry Maguire has been relentlessly linked to move to the club. But more additional information will update about him. I do believe Charlie Adam, who was a former Liverpool player, he's actually urged Harry Maguire, to try and force a move to Manchester United and all that, because probably believe it will be, beneficial for his career. Obviously, he's not going to intend on spending, the rest of his career with Leicester. But looking at ultimately, Leicester don't want to sell him. This is why they demand an extortionate amount. This is why, of course, they have priced him out of the transfer market. But like I said, there's being other central defenders on our current agenda. Obviously at one point De Ligt was on our agenda. He was one of our main priority targets, but obviously now De Ligt's out of the equation, because obviously Matthijs De Ligt's gone to Juventus. Obviously, Rafael Varane, of course, were on our agenda last summer. I think last summer, we was willing to pay £100 million on a centre-back, because we do need world-class centre-back and all that. I was hearing David Oyster from the BBC, he said obviously Manchester United, should look at cheaper solutions, than Harry Maguire and all that. But there is no other cheaper solutions, Obviously, Rafael Varane, if Real Madrid were going to sell him, he'd cost you at least £100 million, maybe even more. With De Ligt, obviously we can't get him now, but he's gone to Juventus. Koulibaly again, he's obviously going to cost you an extortionate amount. He's obviously going to cost you more than Harry Maguire. With Koulibaly, he's been on our agenda for a long time, but like I said, Napoli are reluctant to offload. I think the only way Manchester United could get him is if he was willing to pay a silly amounts of money for him. There's still people talking about Alderweireld from Tottenham, and I think, based on his experience in the Premier League, he would be beneficial for Manchester United, and he is available for a reasonable figure. And obviously, Alderweireld's going to be a much cheaper solution than Harry Maguire, and the Koulibaly's from Napoli and all that. But I just don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is planning to bring him in, and I don't think he's coming out to Manchester United anywhere. He's Toby Alderweireld, and he's aging up as well anyway. He's 30 years of age now. So like I said, there's been so many central defenders on our current agenda. But if we do get a central defender in, the more than likely it's going to be definitely Harry Maguire. But yeah, that's mainly everything to update you with on that. Obviously, as I've been updating you on a regular basis in regards to Romelu Lukaku. Obviously, we do know Lukaku for the entirety of the summer, basically, has been speaking about his proposed move to Inter Milan. Obviously, as the reports did confirm last week, obviously, Lukaku did confirm he wants to leave. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had held talks with Romelu Lukaku, and actually, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's pleading Lukaku to stay at the club for one more season, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still knows how much of an imperative player that Lukaku is, even though Even though, he has initially lost his place in the team. Obviously, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended in, obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first choice preference has been Marcus Rashford ahead of Romelu Lukaku, and I do believe Lukaku has become increasingly frustrated about this, and I think Lukaku doesn't like the way he's been treated in the last 6 months by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and all that. So potentially we do know he's been heavily linked with move to Inter Milan. Antonio Conte has basically come out and admitted that it's very, very essential that Inter Milan do currently sign Romelu Lukaku, because obviously Antonio Conte has identified Romelu Lukaku as his number one target. Obviously now we've said we want in the region of around £90 million. So basically, anyway, we're looking, to recoup the, we're looking to recoup the money that we did pay for him from Everton a couple of years ago and all that, because obviously we're looking to gain a bit of a profit, because we did initially pay £75 million for him from Everton a couple of years ago, but there was several add-ons included in the deal around £15 million, so that did potentially rise it to £90 million and all that. Obviously it did say that Inter Milan recently are willing to pay £75 million, so reportedly they're willing to offer £60 million with around 15 million add-ons included, based on how Lukaku does perform at the San Siro. So it reportedly said that they're willing to offer a guaranteed £60 million. Obviously Inter Milan still want payments to be structured and all that. They want it in instalments. Obviously I think it did say they're willing to pay 40 million up front, with the 20 million with the other 20 million pounds to be paid in instalments and all over the next course of the next 3 years, and then reportedly there's 15 million bonuses included, depending on, like I said, how Lukaku does perform at the San Siro. Obviously Inter Milan themselves have been trying to offload quite a few of their players to help them generate funds to meet our current valuation. So our current valuation seems to be the current stumbling block of Lukaku making his proposed move to Inter Milan. But I do believe Inter Milan are under financial fair play restrictions. But yeah, he has been heavily linked to a move to Inter Milan. Obviously confirmed last week, that, talks have been ongoing for a long time, quite some time now, between Inter Milan and Manchester United. Inter Milan sporting director travelled to the UK last week, to hold talks with Manchester United, to thrash out a deal for Lukaku. We've already turned an offer down from Inter Milan, obviously, because they'd made an initial offer of a 2-year loan, obviously, worth around £9 million up front, so they'd pay £9 million up front, with then the obligation to buy for a further £54 million at the end of that 2-year loan. But obviously, Manchester United didn't entertain this offer, so we're only willing basically to let Lukaku go on a permanent deal. But it said earlier on this week from Sky Sports that Inter Milan, were preparing to put a new bid in for him, but probably more than likely, Manchester United, will also, currently turn this bid down. Lukaku's agent, Federico Pastorella, has also held talks with Inter Milan. I think he's working on trying to get his client his proposed move to Inter Milan. He's actually said that Inter Milan are desperate to sign him, but he has classified the move as complicated. But like I did say, reports indicated out last month saying that Lukaku had agreed the personal terms with Inter Milan. It also said he had agreed a contract worth around 180 grand a week and all that, but no fee has yet come to an agreement. So that is proving to be problematic. Antonio Conte has identified Lukaku as his number one target, and obviously reflected back a couple of years ago when Antonio Conte was manager of Chelsea. At that point, he obviously wanted Lukaku, but obviously Lukaku ended up making the move to Manchester United. It's when he was Chelsea manager he did currently want him. Conte. Obviously I think Lukaku himself is keen on playing under Antonio Conte's guidance. Obviously he described Antonio Conte as one of the best managers in the world, and I do believe if the club can sell Lukaku, I think it will be beneficial for Manchester United. I think it will be also beneficial for the player himself and all that. And he's still 26 years of age as Lukaku. He has still currently got a lot of years ahead of him. Still got 3 years left on his contract with Manchester United. He has been here 2 years. Obviously, he scored 42 goals in 96 games in all competitions and all that. And he was exceptional in his first season with Lukaku. Reflecting on the amount of goals he scored and all that. Because I do believe his ratio is very, very good in the Premier League. He's got that proven pedigree and that in the Premier League. But like I said, he didn't really what he did in his first season. He didn't really replicate that in his second season, but you do now have got strong concerns about Lukaku, very strong concerns about him. His first touch concerns me. He's a big game battler, so he never rises up to the occasions against the big teams and all that. He hasn't really got that endless potential. He doesn't really he isn't reliable enough really, to get enough of them runs in behind. But I'll credit Lukaku, his pedigree, is still very, very good in the Premier League. But I think we definitely need to get him moved to Inter Milan. Of course, if Lukaku does leave the football club, I do believe we are currently going to need a replacement for him. There has been quite a few players on our agenda, who could replace Lukaku at Manchester United and all that. There's people, talking about Wissam Ben Yedder from Sevilla. I think based on Wissam Ben Yedder's experience, I think he would be beneficial for Manchester United. He can score score goals and all that, as he did prove last season, you know, with Sevilla. He's been at Sevilla 3 years. He's still got 2 years left on his contract with Sevilla. His initial release cost is around £36 million, and I do believe reports indicated out quite a few weeks back, you know, saying that Manchester United, you know, were in for Wissam Ben Yedder. You know, people are saying that Dybala would be a good replacement for Romelu Lukaku. You know, Icardi has obviously, you know, been mentioned as well. You know, there's more additional information that's updated about Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang in the last couple of days, and all that, you know, saying obviously, you know, Manchester United are in for him. Obviously, you know, flexing back, was it around 5 weeks ago? You know, this was actually these stories about Aubameyang, you know, was actually, you know, stemming from Andy Goldstein, you know, about 5 weeks ago. You know, he's a presenter of TalkSport, by the way. You know, he said Manchester United are interested in Aubameyang, and he also did basically say, you know, that he allegedly agreed a transfer and that with Manchester United. But I do like Aubameyang a lot. Reportedly, Manchester United have put around the £62 million bidding for the current player. But I think Aubameyang, you know, has got that proven pedigree as a central striker, because he's predominantly a central striker. He can play out wide, so he can play on the left, he can play on the right, but he's mainly a central striker and all that. He did initially say, you know, we was willing to spend in the excess of around £70 million for him. Obviously, Aubameyang has now got that experience under his belt in the Premier League. He's had about a year and a half's experience under his belt in the Premier League. Joined Arsenal in January 2018. I've always liked him though, you know, especially during his Dortmund days. I think it's looking likely Aubameyang isn't going to be signing a new contract with Arsenal. He's got 2 years left on his current contract with Arsenal and all that. I think he's also been linked with move to China. I think allegedly, you know, Aubameyang had been offered around 300 grand a week, you know, to go currently, you know, play in the Chinese Super League and all that. But yeah, there has been a lot of talks about Aubameyang, you know, currently going on. I think his goal scoring pedigree is absolutely fantastic as well. I think his distribution's good. He's got endless potential. His work ethic's good. His tenacity's good. He's very, very good in the air. And I know he's 30 years of age now. He's Aubameyang, and of course he's aging up. I do believe probably Arsenal are open to selling him, because I think Arsenal themselves are looking to offload a couple of their essential players, you know, to help them generate funds, you know, to rebuild their squad, because Arsenal have got a tight budget. You know, they've only got from between 40 to 45 million pounds to spend this summer. I think Arsenal at least will look to recoup the initial £56 million that they did pay for him from Dortmund back in January 2018 and all that. Obviously, it is, I do believe now, Arsenal's most expensive signing, because they did play a club record fee for him. Aubameyang last season scored 22 goals in 36 Premier League games. Obviously won the Golden Boot, was the joint top goal scorer alongside Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah. And I think last season in all competitions he did score 31 goals. So looking at Arsenal, do know how much of an imperative player he is and all that. But I think if they did sell him, you know, Arsenal, it would help them with their transition. It would help them with their rebuilding process. But yeah, there's been a lot of talks going on about Aubameyang. Obviously, I think if Aubameyang came in, you know, he would make a similar sort of impact, you know, as Robin Van Persie did, you know, back in 2012 when we did sign him from Arsenal back in 2012, you know, Van Persie. But yeah, we've identified Aubameyang as a possible replacement for Romelu Lukaku. But I think Aubameyang, you know, would be a good replacement for Lukaku. I do believe he'd been in some goals that we do currently need and all that. So that's been currently talks about him. But like I did say, Manchester United, you know, as you all know, do currently play Inter Milan today and all that. Obviously, it's our third pre-season game. Obviously, you know, we've had a great start to pre-season so far. You know, we've won our last 2 games and all that. You know, beat Perth Glory in our first game 2-0, beat Leeds United midweek by 4-0 and all that. So we do know Manchester United now are in Singapore. This game against Inter Milan is actually not venued at the National Stadium. It is actually in Singapore. The last time, you know, we actually played in Singapore was actually back in 2001. So this was actually 18 years ago. So that's nearly 2 decades now. And I think when we did play in Singapore back in 2001, obviously this was under the Alex Ferguson era. Obviously I think we did beat Team Singapore, was it by 8-1. But Inter Milan's probably is going to be a pretty tough test and all that. But it is of course our third pre-season game. Like I did say yesterday, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer give us some, he gave us his press conference, like he did give an update on his, give us a bit of an update on the team news and all that. And he has obviously confirmed that Lukaku, of course, he's not going to be playing against Inter Milan because he said he's not fit enough and all that. Lukaku has not yet made a tour. He's not yet made an appearance on tour. So obviously, will Lukaku not featuring against Inter Milan? Obviously, that is adding more speculation in regards to his long-term future and all that. So Lukaku, of course, he's not currently going to be playing. Luke Shaw and De Gea, should be available, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did confirm. Luke Shaw had a decent training training session, the other day. So Luke Shaw, probably, should be available because Luke Shaw didn't obviously, play against Leeds. And obviously, with David De Gea, he's confirmed with David De Gea, he should be available. Even though initially, David De Gea didn't play. Well, David De Gea has not yet made an appearance on tour, but David De Gea was ill. This is why he didn't play against Leeds United. But he did say he was well enough to train yesterday and all that. So David De Gea, of course, should be currently available and all that, which is very, very good news. We do know Fred and Dam, obviously in Singapore and all that. Dean Henderson, of course, has not travelled to Singapore. As I not travelled to Singapore as Dean Henderson, as I did actually thought he currently would have done. But yeah, like I said, we've had a great start to current pre-season. I think, Solskjaer said, he's going to give some players, 45 minutes. Going to give some players, 45 minutes. Some are going to get 60, maybe up to 70. But I don't think, we're orchestrating on, swapping all 11 at half-time like we have done in our two previous games and all that. So against Solskjaer, rotating it a little bit, which is very, very good. With Mason Greenwood, I've been very, very impressed with Mason Greenwood, and obviously he's been assured first team football going on into this season. So obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's confirmed he's going to get more playing time, and obviously Mason Greenwood is going to be promoted into the first team, which is really, really good. I have been impressed with Chong as well. He's been impressive, but Mason Greenwood and Chong are still inexperienced at the moment. So this is why I did say if Lukaku leaves the football club, obviously we are going to need a replacement for him and all that. So so that's mainly everything today. So I was wanting to give you the latest news about Bruno, Fernandes and all that, and all the rest of the news as we always do on this channel. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.